Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Janie B, and welcome to the Janie B Perspective. This is Thursday, September the 15th. This is episode number 9 of season 2. Tonight's topic is 5 dating trends not to fall victim to. We do not want to be distracted. This message tonight is for the singles. This is for people who maybe are just now getting back into the dating world, those who may be feeling a little jaded, some who may, you're fine where you are, you're at peace, but you want to get out there and you want to start dating again, but you're like, I want to make sure that I have myself in a safe position and I know what's going on. So that's what we're going to dive into tonight. You see the title there, 5 dating trends not to fall victim to. Okay, so I'm on YouTube and I'm on Facebook right now. Make sure you let somebody know. All right, let's get into our very first one. Let me pull up my banners here. Okay, so the first dating trend that could possibly be, I'm not going to say possibly be, but that is very dangerous, is love bombing. Right. I put that as number 1 and I called it dangerous because bombs are dangerous, right? When you think of war or you think of any type of terrorist threat and they have bombs or they like have dynamite, boom, right? Think of that as love being in a bomb and you meet somebody. So love bombing is emotional manipulation. The action or practice of lavishing someone with attention or affection, especially in order to influence or manipulate them. The action or practice of lavishing someone with attention or affection, especially in order to influence or manipulate them. Again, love bombing is an emotional manipulation. So it is something that is unhealthy. This is not something that just narcissists do, right? Because we always hear people say that love bombing is a narcissistic tactic. This could be someone who's insecure, someone who just wants to rush the process. They don't want to give you a chance to see how they really are. It could be someone that's just codependent, someone who doesn't know how to show up. But it is definitely something to pay attention to. And as if someone's giving you lots of attention, lots of affection, and you may say, well, what's wrong with giving you attention and affection, right? Because that's some people's love language. Well, it's too soon, it's too much, it's too fast, and it's usually inappropriate for the amount of time that they've known you. We're talking about you're someone, you meet them, you have a few conversations, everything is all green flags, so you go on a date with them. It is probably just maybe, let's say it's the 3rd date, or you haven't even made it to the date, right? They're on the phone. They're already in love. They're telling you that you're amazing. They're putting you on a pedestal, right? And this is all manipulation to bring you in. What you want to do is have this person slow their brakes, right? So you want them to slow down because you don't want the process to go too fast because you're trying to get to know them. But if you get your head so clouded with, all these with lavish gifts or presents or jewelry, money, cash, any of those things can be love bombing. It's just, if you don't know if you're being love bombed or not, follow your intuition and just think about how long you've known the person and does it match with what they are telling you or what they are doing for you? Is it just too much? Because some of this should be down the road when you get to the 3rd month or the 6th month, or when you actually know that you love the person, or that you feel yourself that this is going to be your person. So number 1 was love bombing, which we said is emotional manipulation. The action of practice, they're just lavishing you with attention, affection, and words of affirmation. And it's just too much. It's just too soon, right? You are just everything. You are the bee's knees. Okay, we'll come back to that one probably. Number 2, future faking. Future faking is the number 2 tactic. And I'm putting these in order that I think that are important. Remember, we have the love bombing, and now this is number 2, future faking. Future faking is all about promises. Promising things in the future. Kind of goes hand in hand with love bombing, because they're going to be doing a lot of promising. They're going to be telling you how fantastic you are and what they want to do for you. So future faking is hints or promises of the future, such as vacations, future plans, marriage. Yes, marriage. And we're not talking about down the road. We're talking about someone you just met, someone you're just now connecting to. 3rd date could be 1st date, rather could be 3 days in. Usually this happens right away. It could be about money, large financial purchases like a home, boats, helping you get a car, or about having children with you, moving in together. And it's not something where the person's going to say, hey, let's you and I move together. It's subtle hints a lot of times. I have been on a date before, and it was the 1st date. And this happened more than once, where the person mentioned marriage. If you're someone and you want to get married, or if that's in your future, that's really important to you, and that's part of why you're in the dating world, then these are words that you'd want to hear, right? So that's what the person knows. What does he or she want to hear that I can tell them, and that I can get this ball rolling? Because future faking is, again, manipulation to do what? It is to keep you around. It is to create an illusion. And what happens is that you can marry yourself to this future too soon. Connect yourself to it. And now you're already like in this relationship. Again, emotional manipulation. And I don't think everyone that's doing it has evil intent in their heart, like, I'm going to get this person and make them connected to me. Again, people are insecure. People want to be in a relationship so badly that they will manipulate and perform to do it. Or they're lazy. They don't want to take the time for you to get to know them. So another, again, example is marriage. Maybe I'm rushing through these too fast, or just slipping in things about what type of home would you like? What type of ring would you like? They're just throwing in hints and bit of the future to pull you in so that you can stick around. You may really already like them, right? And you want to stick around. So you don't need someone to try and manipulate you, because if they're trying to manipulate you, then that's being deceptive, right? That's being deceptive. And so that's definitely a red flag. You don't want to be with someone that's trying to manipulate you, because if they're going to be doing it in the beginning, I guarantee you they're going to be doing it in the middle and at the very end, right? So that's what we're trying to avoid. We may have been people who are out of divorces, or were out of relationships that were unhealthy, dysfunctional, or toxic. And so now we're starting with a clean slate, and we're going to do it the right way, right? Because that's the best way, because we want to end up in healthy situation. So again, for future faking, it's just dropping little hints about the future. They're trying to tell you, hey, I'm going to be in your future. They're like saying things like, where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do during Christmas time? What are your Christmas plans? They'll even try to plan, I'm not trying to scare you, they'll even try to plan like dates that are really far away. So what you want to do is, again, slow the brakes. You can be like, oh, those are really nice thoughts. Let's talk about now, let's stay in the present. Because when you're staying in the present, you're able to be more level-headed. and you're not emotionally attaching yourself to something that's an illusion and that hasn't happened yet. Please drop in the comments if this is something that's happened to you, or if you got an example or another example of someone future faking. If you just joined, tonight's topic is 5 ways not to fall victim into dating trends, or 5 dating trends that you could possibly fall victim to. Or the last one about children before I move on to the next one. See where I put children as one? Like, say you're someone that you don't have children, or maybe you do, your children are older. The person will say something like, we'd make really good kids together, right? Those type of things. Those are all futuristic things that are not going on. And the thing about it is, before I move on, is that you don't know the person yet. This is like a stranger. And when you meet someone who is a non-romantic interest, you definitely make them, you definitely keep them within the boundaries or the confines of what makes sense for that amount of time that you've known the person. So it's like you want to sort of mimic that same behavior. Okay, number 3, and this won't even take too long the way we're going through this list, right? So you got bypassing, rushing the process. This is not necessarily a trend you'll find if like you go online and look it up. This is something I originally came up with, but it's not something that's rocket scientist. Bypassing means rushing the process. All right, I put the definition. So this is skipping the dating phase, right? It's very clear. It's self-explanatory. Skipping the dating phases. There are phases in dating. I may have left out one. You meet someone, you start talking phase. You're really just talking, right? During that time. That is the talking phase. All you're doing is talking to the person. You're getting to know the person. You're getting to see where things are going to go, right? Okay, so this is the talking phase. What happens is they may try to fly right past the talking phase. They don't spend too much time there because they don't really want you to get to know them, right? Because then maybe they're trying to cover up. Maybe they're just trying to secure love and get you in fast, okay? What else do we have there? Then there's the dating. So you start talking when you go on a date. They don't want to really go to the dates. You're not doing too many dates. They want to fly past that as well. Then there is the exclusive time, when you become exclusive. Maybe they're trying to rush you to that or rush you past that and just get you into a commitment. So you want to be careful if people are trying to rush again, slow dating, pump the brakes. Let me get to know you, because I don't want to find myself in a situation where the person is not my person, right? Remember, we're back out there. We want to have we want to be in a healthy relationship. We've been working on ourselves. We've got our head in the right place. And now we want to find the right person and meet up with the right person. So definitely, you don't want to rush through this. Sometimes people are demanding exclusivity, like on the first date or as soon as they meet you. You know, sometimes you might be talking to other people, maybe not anything sexual or anything like that or super serious, but maybe there's someone that's been taking you on a date. You meet this other person, you know, and it almost is like the best man or woman with. So you're going on a date with this new person, and they're already telling you, you know, stop talking to other people because you found the right one. They're already in your business trying to ask about what's going on, and they want you to cut people loose so that you can, you know, fly up to that stage. They want you to put your guards down, you know, and you want to keep your guards. Your guards should be up at that time because you don't know the person. And this is very serious things to be in a relationship. And just because you're attracted to someone, it doesn't mean that you do let your guards down, right? You're like, this person is fine. Oh my God, he looks so good, or she's so fine. And you just drop all your boundaries and let your guard down. That's not what we're doing, right? We're not doing that. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. We're moving through this. I tell you, this is not going to be forever. Romanticizing, right? That's idealization. That's putting someone on a pedestal and idolizing them. You might be like, what's wrong with that? Maybe I think they're all that. But it's fantasy or it's obsessive thinking. You're creating a more appealing narrative, only focusing on the positive of a bad situation. So, for example, for romanticizing, think about your childhood. Like, imagine, like in your childhood, it was your parents took care of you, they were responsible for you, but they were like, they did some things that were, detrimental to your upbringing, or there could have been traumatic and it affected you. And a lot of times, what we'll do is we'll romanticize it, we will make it more appealing, and we'll make it like, well, everything was okay. We'll just kind of gloss over what hurt us or what was bad or a bad situation, and we just make it into something more positive. We do that with exes sometimes. With our ex, we'll kind of forget the really horrible thing that they've done to us, or not really necessarily done to us, but like the toxicity in the relationship. And we just kind of be like, oh, remember we used to hang out and we used to go, have a drink here, and we would do brunch, and I totally missed that. The person could have been totally abusive to you, that outshined those moments. So it's creating a more appealing narrative to a toxic, dysfunctional, or unhealthy situation. And we do that a lot of times with people we first meet. There were signs there, and then we're like, oh yeah, he's so cute when he's making jokes about me, when he talks about the way that I walk. Or the guy is like, oh yeah, she's really funny, because like she was talking about my car, saying that the last guy she was around, he had this kind of car. But I know that she's just doing that because she's trying to make me mad. Like, you're making the situation cute, and it's not really cute. We're not going to romanticize abuse, toxic behavior, or red flags. Like, oh my God, look at all those flags. Those make a beautiful bouquet. No, it is what it is. If it's romantic, it really is. We don't have to recreate and paint another picture so that we can feel comfortable making an excuse for being with a person that we know deep down that we shouldn't, right? Or that we need to just say bye-bye or not even pursue. And then another thing about romanticizing the past and doing it with the future, we can repeat that same pattern and go into the future doing the same thing. And the idea was that we were trying to get out of that situation, that we were trying not to be back into an old toxic pattern. So if there's an example that you have for fantasizing, obsessive behavior, idealization of someone that doesn't deserve it, drop it in the comments, okay? All right, let's get to the next one. Number 5. That brings us to number 5. Number 5 is breadcrumbing, right? A lot of these titles, it's not new things. It's not anything that is brand new and just happened all of a sudden. There's nothing new under the sun. They made the titles, the names, the labels may be trending now because of social media, because we have better access to information. But these are things that people have been doing, but they do have labels. These labels, actually, I've heard future faking, love bombing, and all these long time ago, but now they've gained more popularity with younger people. So it's good that you know some of these things, because some people are dating and they don't know any of these things, and they may be trying to wonder, what is this person's behavior like? I'm really picking up on something really off here, right? So these are some labels and some things that you can identify. Breadcrumbing is basically, it's inconsistent hope. Okay? You got hope based off of breadcrumbs. It happens when someone gives you just enough time, right? They give you just enough attention. To keep you just enough interested, right? So they're giving you not the whole loaf. You're just getting crumbs, just enough, so you're not starving to death, right? But you are starving because they're not really giving you anything. People do this who are lazy. People do this and who aren't putting in an effort. Some people do it because maybe they have a narcissistic personality. People do it for their ego. They're not really interested in you. They're just keeping you on the bench. They're just keeping you on the line, right? So with breadcrumbing, It's inconsistent behavior. Okay. So let's say the person is not really texting you that much, or they got hot and cold type of personality, right? They're all in, then they're all out. So this is giving you just a little bit of crumbs to do what? To keep coming, to keep, it's again, this is manipulative emotional manipulation. It's like a roller coaster for your emotions because you're like, oh my God, here they come. It's like someone like flirting with you and then taking it back. So they're flirting with the idea of being with you, but not, they don't really know what they want to do. It's like confusing. Immediately no. Immediately no. Confusion is a no, okay? Confusion is a no. Their actions don't match their words, right? They're telling you dreams. They're love bombing you. They are future faking you. And now they are breadcrumbing you, right? And sometimes we romanticize this. Oh yeah, we talked on the phone for an hour this day, then I didn't talk to him, or she didn't call me back, or this person only calls me when I'm at school or when I'm at work or something like that, and I'm not able to talk. So breadcrumb is just to keep you around, just enough attention. They're doing the bare minimum. They're doing like under the bare minimum. You can actually be in a relationship and being breadcrumb, not getting what you need, not getting what you deserve, not getting what you desire, not even getting your needs met, right? Sometimes we breadcrumb ourselves. We can be breadcrumbs on a job. We can be breadcrumbs in our family. Someone just giving you just enough so that you stay interested in being around them, right? So that's 5. So we got love bombing, we have future faking, we had romanticization. Let me back up. I think I missed one. We got breadcrumbing, and we got rushing, right? Bypassing the stages. This is where I want to go with this now. Try not to take it personally. It's not about you. We do not want to take people's tactics or these tactics personally, because it is not about us, right? It is about the other person, how people show up. Sometimes people have not started their healing journey. They're not healed. Maybe they're broken. They don't know what they want. They want you, but they don't think you want them, and they don't know how to sit in that discomfort of that, right? So they do these different things. But that is no reflection of your value. That is no reflection of who you are as a person. That is the other person. You always want to show up as your authentic self. Protecting yourself though, right? We want to be safe in dating. We want to protect our mental, because people will have you going crazy out here. And I'm saying that because when you connect with other people and they haven't developed their communication skills, as I said, they haven't started their healing journey, they're not working on themselves, you can find yourself connected to something that you don't want to be in because you're trying to save them, or you just settle, or you feel like you're lonely, and loneliness is not a reason to date. And another thing about not taking things personally is sometimes we meet people, and I don't know about the fellas, but I'm speaking to the ladies now, is that we may meet someone and we're always thinking, this is the person, this is the one. Maybe, and if you're someone who not everyone wants to get married, but if you're someone that you want to marry, you want to be in a long-term relationship or committed, and then you're like, oh yeah, this is the one. And so when you date that person, the dangers of that, and when you date that person as the one, and this is the one, that's how you're going to see them. You're going to raise your expectations. And my thing is mainly manage your expectations, because you just met them. You don't know what to expect of them, right? You don't, because they haven't showed you who they are yet. You don't know, or they just show you their representative. You don't even know if this is the real person that's in front of you. So just because you're attracted to them, you don't let your guard down, okay? I'm acting like I'm somebody's mother, okay? You don't let your guard down. So you don't, again, try not to take it personally when people do these things. These are just signs and guidelines that this is not your person. It's a process of elimination, because we don't want to attach to people who aren't going to be good for us. We don't want to attach to someone who we're going to have to later try and detach from, and get our mental back together and repair our heart. No, that's not the way we want to go. Another thing we want is to know ourselves, right? Is to know who we are when you're out dating. You should not be dating and you have not developed a relationship with yourself, and you don't know who you are, and you don't have clear boundaries. You don't even know your preference. You don't know anything. You're just out there, right? That's not the way to go out there, because you're going to be a sitting duck. You're going to get love bombed, future fate, breadcrumbs, benched, all that, or someone's going to be trying and rushing you. And I know I'm making it sound really bad, but if we safeguard ourselves, you can have fun and you can enjoy the experience. Because the idea is that we stay in the present and that we enjoy the experience of getting to know someone, right? It is like a really awesome thing to meet another human being, and they share their life with you, share their story with you. You find out about them. You learn who they are objectively. You're taking all this in objectively, and then you're just observing who this person is. And then when they show you who they are, you believe them. You don't try to force them into the mold that you want them to be. You accept who the person is. And if it's something that aligns with your core beliefs, that it is going to elevate you, that is going to bring, I'm going to say add to your happiness and your peace, because you're supposed to come with those things, right? Then you can move forward. Then that is a green flag, right? But if your intuition is jumping and it's telling you, your intuition or discernment or your gut feeling, or some people say God is telling them that there is something off here, trust that and believe that, because you were designed to be able to pick up signals that are not verbal, because much of our communication is nonverbal communication, right? And our intuition picks up those things that our brain has not computed yet, right? Because your intuition has a lot to do with your nervous system. It's when you're like, ooh, someone says something and it stands out to you. Those things that people say and they stand out to you, pay attention to that. Don't discount it. Don't just throw it away. Don't think you're overreacting. Pay attention to that, because that's your body working for you. That's why you need to know who you are and operate in your wholeness and your fullness of who you are as one person, so that you can be so in tune with who you are that you are not missing signals. And that if you do have to say bye-bye, adios, good day, you're not what am I trying to say? You're not going to go back and be like, oh, maybe I was wrong. You're not going to doubt yourself. I know it's another word, but my also can't think of it. You're not going to go back and change your mind like, oh my God, maybe I was wrong, or doubt yourself. You're going to know for sure that was somebody that was not for you. And you're going to be able to sleep at night in peace, right? Because we don't run and chase after people. No, we don't. Because what is ours is going to come to us. We're going to meet with it. Definitely have before I get to boundaries. So back to yourself. That's why it's important in your season of singleness, being solo, being alone, being consciously single. That's what we are. We're being consciously single. It means that we're not living through our subconscious, because often a lot of what we do is subconscious, but it means that we're consciously, we are awake. We are making decisions for ourselves and our lives from a healthy state, right? That we know that we are very familiar with our emotions and that we are regulating them, that we know that we have clear boundaries. Now let's jump to boundaries. We should not be out here without boundaries, without standards, and without preferences. If you do not know what you want, first start with what you don't want, right? You are allowed to have deal breakers, to have boundaries, to have things that you will not put up with. You are allowed to make a decision for your safety and for yourself and not to move forward. That's what you do for you when you love you, right? That's why it's important to love yourself. So, you don't know what you want. What don't you want? Well, maybe you don't want someone that curses. You don't want someone that's inconsistent. You don't want to be with someone that has a lot of children, who has a lot of partners. You don't want a long distance relationship, right? You don't want someone that drinks. You don't want someone that smokes weed, marijuana. You don't want someone that does drugs. Know what you don't want and then get that in your head so that when you go out, you'll be able to be like, oh no, that's a deal breaker. I'm not going to do that. Deal breakers are usually that is like a hard no, a quick, fast stop. You don't move past go. Your boundaries are what protects you, right? So definitely have to have some boundaries. I'm going to give example of a boundary, something that I do. So if I meet someone or I got to be transparent. I meet someone. I don't immediately go on a date with the person, right? So this is a boundary, not immediately going on a date, getting to know them first, because I've gone on dates and then I'm like, this was a waste of time. Like, why am I here? And I'm like, this could have been an email. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could have talked about some of these things ahead of time and then know, like, I'm not going on a date, because I've had that before. So it's like, that's why you don't want to be rushed, because if you meet someone and then you exchange numbers and then you're talking, excuse me, and then all of a sudden they're like, okay, let's go out tomorrow, and then you really don't know them that well, right? And so if you're someone and you want to do like the full day, where you want to go like to the dinner, you want to go to the movie, the traditional stuff, or you plan to go to like hear music or something like that, then if you want to do that whole traditional type thing, that's a big slot of time that you'll be spending with somebody. So before you get to that, get as much information as you can. You're not digging into their life. You're just getting the basics to know, can we have a conversation that's going to flow? Are we going to have fun together? You're going to know this because, you're going to, a little bit of it, right? And so you're going to be like, can we extend off of this once we get on the date? If you're already getting bad vibes just from the phone and text and FaceTime, you might want to rethink the date, or what type of date. Maybe it's just a meetup date, a meet and greet, coffee. I know some people don't like those. I'm totally into coffee shop dates. Like, I suggest them, right? Like, because I don't want to get dressed up and do all that. Anyway, I'm telling too much of my business. But anyway, so part of a boundary could be that you talk to the person for a while and then you don't go on a date for a week or 2 weeks, right? Or you get at least 3 or 4 days under your belt talking. Some people don't like that. You can explain to the person, let them know, hey, this is just for my comfortability so we can get to know each other, right? Because I'm, tell them, because, I am interested in you, right? It's for real. You're interested in them. You're like, I want to get to know you. So I want to maximize the situation to make the best out of it. Speak up for yourself. Say how you feel up front. We don't have to lie and be deceptive to people. We are adults, consenting adults. You have every right to what you feel, what you need, and what boundary you have, because you deserve it. So that's how you need to move in the world. That's how you need to talk to people. You got to stand up for yourself and say what you want, because if you never say what you want, you never state a need, you just let people do what they want, you're never going to get anything, right? Okay, because you plan to fulfill some of their needs. So I hope that they plan to fulfill some of yours. It's a give and take, okay? If they're not going to fulfill your needs, then what's the point of being with them? And that doesn't mean that you're needy. It doesn't mean that you need them to fulfill all of your needs. It just means that I need you to do your part and to show up, because I'm going to show up and do my part. That I need you to care about me. I don't need you to take care of me, but to care about me and my feelings. I might be going too far. So have some boundaries, okay? So we got to know who we are. We got to have a relationship with ourselves. We're not taking this personally. I have to look at my notes. Using our intuition and our boundaries. Lean into that intuition. That is your best friend. Your boundaries and your intuition, because one thing about it, if you didn't pay attention to your intuition, the boundaries that you have in place will protect you, right? Because your boundaries is like your policy. Just like on our job, they have a policy. Your health care has a policy. When you go in to get your tires rotated, there is a policy. Have a policy in your life, right? My policy is this. My policy is that. This is my, that is what your boundaries will do. It's like your policy for your life. Usually policies don't necessarily change. They just pretty much consistent, and they're there in the background. You can whip them out at any time and show them to somebody, right? Places are always showing you their policy, right? So you want to have your boundaries like your policies that are always going on. They are protecting you, meaning this person may be up to no good, right? But your boundaries are protecting you. Your boundaries are protecting you mentally. Like I said, because you're waiting before you're going on a date. You're making sure that they aren't just texting you. You're like, I don't just text. Gotta be some phone conversations. Maybe one FaceTime. I'm not a FaceTimer, so that'll be you know what I'm saying? So maybe so you want to do those things before you get on the date. Then once you date, then maybe your date is 1 week away, 2 weeks away. Okay. What's another boundary? If you have another idea of a boundary, then you can just slip it there into the comment section. And so I can look back later and I can see what you put. So another boundary may be that you don't bring the person to your home right away. You don't tell them where you live, that you meet them. So just in case you get some information that is not cool and is not go, you're like, they don't know where I live. So get these things. Have a preference. Know what you like, not just physically, but what type of person that you like. And be specific. This isn't necessarily something you're telling to that person, because you don't want to show up telling that person, this is what I want. No, because sometimes a person will just pretend to be what you want, right? And then you're gonna find yourself in a relationship with somebody that was pretending because they love bombed you, they future faked you, okay? And that they were holding out, and because you avoided everything because you didn't have strong boundaries. Some of us have them, they're just not strong. Keep them strong. Keep them high, keep the standards high. There is nothing wrong with high standards because you value yourself. There is nothing wrong with high standards because you value yourself. You love yourself. You know what you are worth. You know that you are a beautiful person. You know what you have to offer or bring to the table, as people say, right? So standards, there's nothing wrong with high standards, because high standards is like boundaries, it's like your intuition. It keeps you safe and it gets you what you want. It gets you what you desire. If we don't settle and we stop wasting time, we will get to what our high standards are bringing into our life, right? It just takes patience. It takes patience. But in the meantime, you're not desperate, you're not thirsty, you're not chasing, because you have a relationship with yourself. Okay? That's why during this time, you take time to know who you are. You take time to heal, take time to work on yourself, take time to self-care, self-love, to nourish yourself, to nurture yourself rather, to give yourself love. You can absolutely hug yourself. If you're prayer, you pray. Whatever your spiritual religion affiliation is, we should all have some form of spirituality, whether it's going out in nature, okay, something that feeds your soul. If you're doing meditation, if you are a Christian, whatever you are, you should have that, and you can lean on that, right? So that is a part of us. And also dig down deep in those wounds and don't ask what's wrong with me. Ask, why do I do what I do, right? And follow our patterns. So that is the show tonight for 5 dating trends not to fall victim to. I'm reading for you. You root for me. We be out here. If I see you out, I'll say hi. We want to watch out for love bombing, future faking, bypassing, rushing through the stages. That's the bypassing. And also, we don't want to be romanticizing or idolizing making fantasies or obsessing, right, over people. Exactly. We do not want to do that, especially situations that are negative and are not calling for that. We're not recreating anything. We're sticking with the truth, okay? Or breadcrumbing. We're not going for breadcrumbs. We're going for the whole loaf, right? We want all the bread. We want all the carbs and the crumbs. We want the whole cake. And that's it for the Janie B perspective, because we aren't taking anything personally, okay? I hope that you enjoyed the show. I enjoyed delivering this message. Please come back next week. I have another topic. It's going to be an extra show because I do 3 Thursdays out of the month, but there's 5 in this month. So I said I'll go ahead and do a 4th one so I can go ahead and get that 10th show in, that 10th episode, because I took a little sabbatical. Once again, thank you for joining the Janie B Perspective. If you enjoyed the show, please comment, please like, and share. Mwah. Take care. Thank you. Janie B Show.